to another episode of Millionaires Are Made, the show where we believe that you should and can be a millionaire in all 6 aspects of health. We do shows on your physical health, your mental health, your financial health, your spiritual health, your intellectual health, and today's episode is on your social health. Our topic is going to be social media, social time. If you haven't ever seen Millionaires Are Made, this is the show built on the fundamental belief that every person you meet knows something you don't, and there's something to be learned from everyone in this big, beautiful world. In the spirit of authenticity, we have 3 awesome guests here, and I have not, I promise, biased or persuaded them in any way. They bring their own life journey, and they bring their own tips and advice, and so we're going to hear what they've got to say to hopefully help us all grow a little in our social health. And you will be either learning to use or not use social media. We will find out. Audience members, we love you. Thank you so much for watching. It's always awesome when we hear you ask questions. Please, if you have anything on your mind, just type it into one of our chats. We monitor it, and we'll ask it live to our guests right then and there. So please don't be shy. Also, if you are watching this and you think you have something you can share, which I know you do, feel free to sign up to be a guest. We'd love to have you. We have lots of guests. Anyone is welcome. Everyone has something to share. So please let us know what topic you have an expertise in or a little piece of advice, and sign up and let us go put you on our show. If you are struggling or very happy, or if you're an expert in a certain topic, let us know. We always need new topics and new categories to have shows on. So if you haven't seen the topic that you love, let us know. If you're struggling through something and you want to hear some experts' opinions, let us know, and we'll go through an entire show just for you. And if you are supporting us, trying to make the world grow in lots of different ways with advice from everyone, please make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Do whatever you can. Send stars if you're on Facebook, and help support us. We'd love that very much. Thank you. And if you want a little more in-depth one-on-one with me, I do offer free coaching. That link's being dropped right now. So if you want to grow, have a little growth session, or hear some things, all I do is spend all day talking to super smart people. So sometimes I absorb a thing or two. That was awesome too. We are now going to go to one of my second favorite parts of the episode, where we get to shout out our followers. Again, thank you for following us. It's awesome. It helps us keep motivated and striving to do more. On Facebook, huge shout out to Jenny Burton. On Instagram, thank you. Shout out to Thinking Matters Vera. TikTok, Belen Alarcon, thank you. And on YouTube, Pat Ryan, you're awesome. Also want to give some shout out to our sponsors. One of our sponsors is the #1 attorney's office in Colorado, especially for family and immigration law. The team at Elm Law is dedicated to delivering the highest quality legal representation in Colorado. Their mission is to be a champion for their clients, providing exceptional service and navigating legal challenges with expertise and compassion. Check that link right there if you need an attorney in Colorado for just about anything. Our next awesome sponsor is Healing Vocals Artist Management, led by Dr. Mary Anderson. Fuses medicine and music to create a global impact. Super cool company. Check them out. Link is being dropped right now. They heal bodies and uplift souls through medical missions and artist support with a little music. Super unique, super fun. Another sponsor we have is one of our favorites, Ben Thinking About Your Health. Ben offers nationwide PPO health insurance with the freedom to choose any doctor, ideal for healthy individuals and businesses. They give you health insurance that's cost-effective and tax-deductible. So if you're tired of your rates increasing or not being able to pick and choose what you want, check Ben out. He knows all about it. BenThinkingAboutYourHealth.com. Link's being dropped right now. And our final sponsor that we want to say thank you so much. The True Leaders is a bi-monthly magazine edited by Olusegun Eluode, offering practical guidance, inspiring stories, and in-depth interviews for aspiring and current leaders. So if you're trying to be a leader, this is where you want to go. It's available digitally for free, and you can get it in print if you want as well from Amazon. Emphasizes influence and driving positive change, and the link is being dropped below. Thank you so much for our sponsors. Thank you for our followers. And now let's talk about some social media and your social health. So for me, my tip on how to improve your social health with social media is turn it into an asset instead of a liability. Social media affects your mentality. It affects your actions. And if you are following or connected to negative energy, your ROE, return on energy, is going to be very unfavorable. Don't be afraid to use that unfollow, unfriend, and block options to make sure your feed is a beautiful, beautiful asset that wakes you up and energizes you and aligns with your core values, and it motivates you to go get things done. If you're just following people that are bitching about their lives all day and have nowhere they're going to go and they don't align with your core values, unfollow that and make sure that your feed is beautiful, just like I have with basically all three of these guests are on my feed, and I see them just about every day. So I'm excited to go talk to them and hear what they have to say about social media, since we are all connected. We're going to bring our first guest out here. Her name is Bree. Bree, who are you?
Hi, I'm Bree Lafferty. I'm an award-winning author and a deaf and spiritual doula.
A death and spiritual doula. Well, what's your book about? You said you're an author. Who, what, when, where,
Yeah,
why, and how?
I've got two award-winning books. My first one, White Flame, is all about my near-death experience. The second one, Wired to be Dysfunctional, is a co-authored book between my mom and I about my rare, incurable chronic illness. And Leads to Nowhere is also an award-winning book all about how I was able to heal or cure my incurable disorder.
Wow. All right. All right. Very cool. Well, I have another question for you. It's kind of important. If I wanted to improve my social health using social media or not using social media, what piece of advice would you give me?
Yeah, I have to say you can use social media to really save your life.
To save your life. You're going to have to tell me more about that. Using social media to save your life. All right.
Yeah, so I was very anti-social media. I stayed off of it. I didn't want my presence to be known at all. However, when I was in the depths of my chronic illness, that was incurable. My mom was a warrior and she used social media to scour the web for resources. And she joined many support groups. And one of those support groups within Facebook, actually, she connected with a young woman who had the same condition as me, had a very successful surgery, and ended up connecting me to where I got a life saving brain surgery. All thanks to my mom's activity in support groups and Facebook. So I am now really excited for social media, and I've got a very different outlook on it.
And you can use it as a great tool to save your life. You learn something new
You can
every
use that as
day.
a tool
Learn
to save
something
your
new
life.
every day. Yes. So I guess you kind of answered this, but let's go over it again. Where, tell us a little more details. Where in your life journey did you learn this tip?
Yeah, so I was in corporate America and I wanted none of my life on the internet. So I was very good at staying off of the internet. I had 40 friends on Facebook and they were my friends around the world. And I just didn't care to post. I wanted to be hidden from the world with my illness and then with my near-death experience. And my mom felt very differently, and she tried to find out different resources for me growing up. I was sick since a child, and there was no resources. There was no social media. There was no extensive resources on Google. So when Facebook really became big and all these support groups popped up, she really utilized it as a tool where I just saw it as an invasion of privacy. She really dove in and used it as a tool, and it ended up saving my life in the long run.
Wow, that is quite a powerful story. Bree, thank you so much. We're going to move on to our next guest, but we'll definitely bring you out for the round robin at the end. Next up, we have Rachel. Rachel, who are you?
Hi, I'm Rachel D. Greenwell. I am a Quantum Queen coach. I'm known by my community as the Soulful Self-Worth CEO. I'm also the author of this beautiful book right here called How to Wear a Crown, a practical guide to knowing your worth. It was really divinely inspired thing. God gave me this book as a gift to me first, and then I get to give it out to the world
Share it with everyone
Personally,
else.
I'm a mommy and a wife and a pretty boring person when it comes down to it. I like to do really introverted things. I'm an introvert at heart. So everything I like to do is typically by
reading and
myself.
writing.
Yeah.
Great. That's a great lead into this next question. As an introvert, if you wanted to improve your social health with social media, what tip would you give us?
I would say that you have to know that the internet and social media is not a replacement for true connection.
Ooh. Internet, social media, not a replacement for true connection. Tell me more.
So as an introvert, and social media is designed to make you feel like you are very connected to other people, right? You can see the highlight reel of everything that's going on in everybody's lives. You're like, oh yeah, their kid looks like this and they're at this age and they are doing this and they just won that award. But did you actually like spend time with their kid? Did you pick them up? Did you take them to McDonald's for a play date? Like, you're not really getting a true deep connection with the people, even though you feel and you're getting the same dopamine rushes in your brain that you would get if you were having true connection in real life. But there's another component to it that's really important, which is a different chemical that connection sparks, which is the chemical called oxytocin. And we all know that to be the chemical that is called the love chemical. And it's the love chemical for a reason, or the love hormone for a reason. And you don't get that. You only get a dopamine rush. So you're going to have this sort of addictive, obsessive quality to the connections that you will have with people if you're solely connecting to those people on social media. And you're not going to get that deeper, more spiritual, true connection that creates that oxytocin in your body that you need to feel actually connected to a human being and to have the feeling of love. So you're going to miss out on the true depth to what connection can bring if you think that you can have it solely on social media and that you don't have to connect in real life and in person, or have an actual one-on-one phone call with somebody and hear their voice and hug them and things like that.
Awesome. Wow, that's cool. Where on your life journey did you learn this?
Well, I would say in lots of places, but one of them being along my own healing journey, when I had to just kind of admit that like I had a lot of problems with like mental health and things like that. And I started joining support groups to help me with that. And I had to make these deep commitments with, as somebody who is an introvert and has anxiety, like around social anxiety. I've been diagnosed with like the general anxiety disorder or social anxiety. And I had to kind of push myself beyond this point of wanting to stay in the shadows to actually branching out and getting connected to other people in real life. And support groups and making that commitment to myself to make it a habit to socialize made me realize that there was these depths of connection that I had never went to before. And once you have that, once you know what that feels like, you don't want to go without it again. And I honor that I am an introvert, and I honor that there is a certain amount of time, like I am different. There's a certain amount of time I need more time by myself than maybe somebody who is an extrovert needs. So I like to be honest with myself about that. But there is being in support groups and pushing myself beyond my comfort zone when it comes to connection helped me in support groups, helped me to learn that. And then I think kind of the opposite as well helped me to learn it, which was creating superficial connections on social media, and then having these moments of where the illusion is shattered and you realize, ooh, I didn't really know that person as much as I thought I did, or that person doesn't actually like me as much as I thought they did, now that they're coming to realize that who I really am. So it's kind of multiple ways.
Man, I love it. Great insight, Rachel. Thank you so much. We are now on to moving on to the next guest, and his name is Josh. I think he's at a coffee shop. Josh, who are you?
I'm doing good. How about you, Austin?
I said, who are you?
Who am I? Oh, well, I'm a 20-plus year veteran of the music events industry, logistics expert, and tech founder.
Tech founder, logistics, music. Wow. Well, tell me this. If I wanted to improve my social health with social media, what piece of advice would you give me?
Yeah, for me, it's just about being raw and authentic with kind of my story and who I really am. And then I would say the other thing to compound with that is don't be scared to hit the unfriend or unfollow button.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's easy like that, right? How
Yeah,
often, how many times go ahead, go ahead.
well, I think that people often misperceive. When we're in high school, we think that we're going to keep our friends forever, and we say within our friend groups, "Yeah, we'll be friends for the rest of our life." And it's all too often that does not happen, and we really change and iterate our friend groups throughout our life into different things because we grow and change as people.
Got a question from the audience. It's just perfect for you. Do you take breaks from social media to focus on face-to-face interactions?
I absolutely do, and in fact, I had recently taken a small one here and just peeled it back to not always be the one to initiate contact, right, and not always be reaching out to people, but let them reach out to me.
Let them reach out to you. All right. Interesting. I feel like I might have reached out to you somewhat recently. Awesome. Thank you, Rachel. She says she agrees with you. And change your social group as you evolve. Also true. I mean, you should almost revisit your core values, your inner circle, like every 6 months. Josh, you got anything else to add before we move
Yep.
on to our round robin?
Keep growing and evolving.
Keep growing and evolving. All right, we're going to move on and bring everyone out of the backstage. Here comes Bree and Rachel. And let's start with this. Real quick, Bree, can you refresh what your tip was for us on how to improve your social health with social media?
Yeah, find a support group. It might save your life.
Rachel, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it very well could save your life. It does have that power to connect you to people who you might have never gotten the opportunity to connect to before, right? People outside of your town, your realm, it's a powerful, amazing tool. And we just have to remember to use it consciously for what it is and not let it replace those true connections.
Josh, what are your thoughts about Bree's tip?
First of all, I think that's an amazing story that it saved her life from a physical ailment. But I think it's also worth noting that in a lot of cases, having a connection with somebody can also take somebody out of a very dark mental place or a suicidal place, right? Like, so if you are in that place, reach out to somebody and talk to somebody about what you're going through, because really we paint a darker picture in our head than what is actually our scenario a lot of times.
All right, we've got a question from the audience. Social media makes me depressed. All the successful people get, and I'm just browsing their stuff. It's super sad.
I would love to speak to that one. I remember a time in my life where I felt the same way, and I was like, but what about me? But you have to there's a fine line between letting it depress you and letting it inspire you. You have to remember that those people are just like you. I'm a normal person. I tell everybody probably way too much about my personal life just because I want people to know I'm a normal person. Like, I'm a mom, I go to the bathroom, like I take showers every day. Like, I'm just a human person, and like we have to remember that we are just as equal, just as good enough as anybody that you see there. And they all had to start somewhere too. So like, if there's something, it can't make you jealous, it can't make you sad, it can't make you depressed unless they have something that you want, right? But let that be a motivator, let that inspire you. What is it that, do you want to be doing what they're doing? You can too. Start today finding a way to take a step towards a lifestyle that's more like theirs. It's available for you as well.
I will add on that too. Don't forget that I'd say 90 to 95% of people only post good things on their social media. Myself included. I mean, when negative things and bad things happen, I don't run to social media. That's where you either retreat into your own self, or you work your ass off to solve the problem or move it. But not many people post their negative shit on their Facebooks. Like, when other than like maybe death, but when bad things happen, people ignore it until something good happens, and then they post it and get that gratification.
So true.
Yeah, it kind of saying what you're saying, like it's really just a highlight reel for somebody's life. And all too often, especially when we are depressed, we look at all the negative things, and it's very easy to scrutinize yourself because you're the only one who sees your own internal story, right? But if you really think about and sit at and kind of contemplate your own highlight reel, your life is way more amazing than you might think. And there's tons of people out there who think your life is amazing.
That's very true. Yeah, if you think of your own highlight reel, you're fucking awesome and killing it. Another quick thing I'm gonna say is a lot of people fucking use social media and get all the keeping up with the Joneses and get jealous. The only person you should be trying to impress every day, put this in your head every day, is your future self. If you're not impressing your future self, that's all there is to it. And if someone else is doing something, if you want it, you got to set your goals, set your plan of action, and go get it. But realistically, you're only competing with yourself. That's all there is to it. All right, we got another question for y'all. What boundaries should I set for my social media use?
I would love to answer this one. Especially coming from not really appreciating social media for what it could be, going from, barely being on it at all to actually moving my business as a social media centered business. I really had to learn those boundaries for uses, for people. And I just remember before all of this, I would see so many negative things or so many arguments, and it was so dramatic, and I want to know part of that. So what I've really done is refine who I see, who I follow, who I friend, who can contact me. I've got certain guidelines for myself that if you do this, you say this, you post this, you're immediately off of my list, off of my follow, off of my DMs. And I felt bad about it at first, but I am so peaceful. Another thing I did was I turned off notifications. That was a huge boundary for myself because when I moved my business and my public to or profile to public, I was just getting notifications, friend requests. It was so overwhelming, and I had anxiety for the first time in years. And I realized I didn't have to be a slave to my phone, my notifications, my social media. And now I utilize it as a tool, and I set time limits. I'm not on there all day, every day. I've got set times and goals for how I'm going to utilize this. So that's how I've set my own boundaries, going from no social media, negative, hating it, to really utilizing it as a great tool.
So powerful. Yeah, like we said, a social media, Josh just took his break. You didn't use it at all till it saved your life. You don't need social media. It's not a requirement in life. There's ways to make it work, right? You can go find a group, find support, save a life. Sure. That's kind of an extreme. Sorry, Bree. Not everyone's getting their lives saved so drastically. But as long as you keep it tight, keep it where you want it, your feed should all be like positivity, and it actually, let's just ignore that. It should all follow your core values. If your core values are this, and this, you should be having people that align with that fill your feed. And so, keep that negativity off. I unfollow. I don't even know. I unfollow so many people. But I also have, tons of people that come in and whatever. But right now, I would say these three right here are actually on my feed pretty hardcore. And people on my show, a lot of those people, they're positive. They have the same values. We love to get out there. We love to share knowledge and give and grow. That's what I want. I want people that are teaching me, growing. Josh is on my personal board of directors, teaching me, growing, all that kind of stuff. And so it can be an asset. It can. It can save lives. It can make you happy. It can teach you things and you can learn. Or you can surround yourself with your people from high school that are bitching about their fifth kid with their fifth baby mama, whatever. And that's life. You know, you choose. And I guess that's a beautiful thing about it is you choose. You choose how social media affects you. If you just follow millionaires that brag about their cars all the time, I mean, that's your life. I don't follow anyone that really brags about anything on my feed. I couldn't even name what kind of car half the people that are on my feed have. 90%. I couldn't name any cars. There's nobody on my feed bragging about Ferraris and Lambos or any of that shit. You know, all that material stuff is something I've definitely moved a lot away from. But yeah, all right, here's another fun comment for you guys. Life was much better in the 80s. I'm lucky to be born in that generation. Thoughts?
Yeah,
I'd say there's...
You know,
I'm grateful for, there's struggles, pros and cons about every generation. So I'd say, it's great that you're grateful to be born in your generation. I'm grateful to be born in mine.
Yeah, I was going to say something similar. I grew up in like Baptist Christian churches, so I thought of a Bible verse was just like, you were born for a time such as this. Like, it's not a mistake that you were born in your generation. There's pros and cons to every generation. The 80s is beautiful. The 90s was beautiful. And there's things that are beautiful about today as well. And you have to find how you fit in. And then there's what is it about that generation that you want to conserve or bring into your current existence that you can? Like, what is it that you think was so much better about the 80s? Like, maybe the 80s was more peaceful because everybody wasn't on a phone or on their TV. Well, turn your devices off. It's like really simple. Turn your devices off for a while and be in that vibe of where you're having an actual human connection, right? Like, maybe it was something like that you felt like they had going on better than you have now. You can create your life the way that you want it by finding, instead of just being like, oh, that generation was better, what is it about that generation and how can you create that now?
Yeah, I think there's something to learn from all generations. The one example I can think of that really sticks out to me is one of my tech partners is a 73-year-old man who's like the quintessential stereotype of a Berkeley graduate who worked on the third version of Microsoft ever. And he's very much into tech and stuff, but, you may find him playing with his I Ching coins or meditating as well. And so I think it's all about a balance.
Definitely all about a balance. Oh, all right, guys. Well, we just hit my favorite part of the episode. We have to come up with a daily challenge. It must take less than 5 minutes. It must cost $0, and it must be available to anyone in the world that it clearly has social media. I guess, well, we could kind of open it up to any kind of, I don't know. Let's focus on social media. That's the episode. Any ideas how to improve my social health with social media in under 5 minutes with $0?
Yeah, join my Facebook group. It's all about enlightening and spiritual happiness and motivation.
All right, so join Straight Up Breeze group. I love it.
Okay.
Well, we can't do that 7 days. So we have to generalize it a little more.
Join and invite your friends.
Every day, invite all your friends. Okay.
All right, and I actually just focus on clearing away the negativity. Anything that doesn't inspire you or motivate you, clear it out of your feed, clear it out of your social media.
Yeah, I will say the group thing is only for Facebook. So, well, I guess it could be like Reddit. Let's keep going. I like that one. I like maybe unfollowing someone every day, but we can do more than just that, right? Rachel, what were your thoughts?
My thoughts are to grab a piece of paper and draw a line straight down the middle and make 2 sides. And one of them to be, what are the things that I need to do to improve my social health? What are the things that are negatively impacting my social health? Or, well, let's do it backwards. What's currently negatively impacting my social health with social media? And then what are the things that would improve my social health with social media? And then you can strive to create a habit by just, which go each day, each week, each month, whatever you're capable of doing. But you can do the first part of that exercise in under 5 minutes for $0, just a quick jot down of what are those things. And then you can kind of make it a practice to continually improve your social health with social media over time by just go down the list and pick one each week, each month, however often you're able and willing to take a look at it.
Okay, all right, we're going somewhere. I currently have our tentative daily challenge being this. So you're going to go to your social media feed, right? TikTok, you can use whatever you want. Yeah, you're going to find a post that makes you unhappy, right? And then you're going to unfollow and also write down why that post made you unhappy. And then you're going to also do the same thing on the positive side. A post that made you happy, write down why. Because I always think it's an important thing. You can just unfollow whatever. I think it's always important to start getting data on why this makes me happy. Oh, he has a great car. I love cars. I love seeing Lambos. Okay, that's great. If you're a car guy and you're striving to get your Lambo Ferrari, follow them, like it, get involved. But, over here, if you see someone posting their brand new house and you just get jealous, let's unfollow that. Write down makes me jealous, and let's start connecting that maybe you're getting jealous too often. I mean, it can enlighten some things about yourself there. How does that sound? Maybe we do that on like 3 posts. We got to take like 5 minutes, right?
I love that with the investigating the why, tying it into the core reason of what it is about it, instead of just aimlessly doing it and not understanding why it's upsetting you. Now we're getting into some real change. I love that.
Digging in. I love it too.
Any updates? You guys think that's enough? So basically we're going to find 3. Let's do the positive first. 3 posts that make your life better, that make you, let's just say make you happy. Fuck it. 3 posts that make you happy. Write down why and leave a comment, because we want to keep those going, right, for the algorithm. Leave a comment, then write down why on a piece of paper. I'm going to just share it and comment on that share why, because I have to do it publicly, apparently. And then the negative ones, I'm just going to fuck it. Okay, so find 3 posts that make you unhappy, unfollow them, and write down why on a piece of paper.
And can I add?
That sounds fun.
Can I add something that it might show?
Yes.
We might be unaware enough to it just show up as like a anxiety or a discomfort that we might not really understand fully or be emotionally mature enough yet to even say this one makes me happy or that one doesn't. Just notice a subtle shift in you, right? Even if it's just subtle, that's enough for you to do that exercise and it be helpful for you.
Yeah, even if it like makes you scroll faster because you don't like it,
Yes.
Kind of got to pay attention a little bit of how it is. And, the other one you read it and you're kind of like, oh, I want to read this whole thing. Okay, well, you have a positive reaction. Let's find out why. All right. Yeah. That is our daily challenge. And I think that's an interesting and fun one. Well done, team.
I just added it to my calendar.
Cool. All right, guys.
I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I feel like I need to do this for myself now.
Oh, you're part of the challenge. We're tagging you every day. We'll be bugging you. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. We're going to wrap up the show and put you guys backstage here. And viewers and audience, thank you. Amazing questions. Thank you guys so much. What a great episode. Hopefully that taught you a little bit about social media and some tips on how to make it a little more advantageous to you.